Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. Over. This is Tango Delta. Over.
Thomas and Jerry, if I see those toys one more time, you'll be in for detention. Now, I've just received the qualification questions for Scientists Are Us, the quiz show that I'm sure you've all heard on the radio. We'll use the next lesson to go through the questions.
Scientists Are Us. That's just for swats.
Yeah, real nerds.
Bear in mind that the 3 best pupils qualify for the district finals on the radio, and last year's district winners won a trip to Egypt to study the pyramids.
The 3 friends did everything they could to be prepared for the test.
Okay, guys, we're going to win that trip.
Yeah.
Start. Stop.
Unfortunately, one 20-minute break wasn't enough to make up for 4 years of neglected studying.
Which means that Marianne, Otto, and Marlin will be our representatives in the district finals. Congratulations.
Of course, the 8th reserve team was better than nothing, but the chance of everyone else in the class falling ill at the same time was, to say the least, unlikely.
Poor Marlin. I think it would be nice if we all went and visited him. Then I'm sure he'd get well in time for the finals.
No way. Get real.
Marlin didn't get well, and the teacher's suggestion had resulted in a disastrous scenario. The only pupils who were well were the 4 who had refused to visit poor Marlin.
A catastrophe. Now we have to send the reserve team to Scientists Are Us.
This is the revenge of Tutankhamun. Your death will be long and painful.
Frank was already in Egypt, but Thomas adopted a slightly more realistic attitude.
We'll never make it. Of course we will.
Frank.
Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. I have a plan. Over.
Hey, you know these walkie-talkies?
Yeah?
You can connect them to an earpiece.
So what?
Jerry explained his plan to the 3 friends, and their dejected faces soon broke into broad smiles.
Hello, and welcome to the district finals of Scientists Are Us, the competition in which the cleverest 4th graders in the district compete for a place in the national finals.
To Alpha Foxtrot. Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. Come in.
Sounds like team number 1 is suffering from a bit of cold. Let's hope this won't affect their performance today.
Jerry had set up his knowledge base within a stone's throw of the broadcasting house, right by the tall radio mast.
Let's welcome team number 1 and say hello to Frank, Eric, and Thomas. And in team number 2, we have Isaac, Albert, and Marie. Are you ready to start?
Sure.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, question number 1. Geography. Into which sea does the Danube flow? I repeat, into which sea does the Danube flow? You have 10 seconds.
Danube, A, B, C, D. Dandelion, dandruff, Danish pastry. There, Danube. Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. The Danube flows into the Black Sea. I repeat, the Danube flows into
Black.
Arranged for the visit of the United States President Bill Clinton.
Black.
Now the weather forecast.
Black.
Well, can I have your answer, please? Let's isolate booth number 2. Team number 1, may I have your answer, please?
The Danube flows into the Blacks.
I'm sorry?
The Blacks.
The Blacks? That's your answer?
You bet.
Thank you, team number 1. We'll switch over to team number 2. Can I have your answer, please?
The Danube flows into the Black Sea.
Okay, we have the answers from both teams, and, well, the correct answer is the Danube flows into the Black Sea. So the score is 1-1, even if Team 1 did perhaps miss off the last few letters. Let's continue. And now it's on to science. Team number 1, What do you call the tiny organisms that blue whales feed on?
Blue whales, blue whales. There it is. Tango Delta 2. Plankton. The answer is plankton.
I repeat,
May I have your answer, please?
The organisms that the blue whales feed on are called... They're called... the league champions Manchester United.
Jerry made a desperate attempt to save the situation, but somehow Frank didn't seem to be listening. At least not to him.
14 times 8 divided by 2.
23 degrees in the morning.
Name the man who invented the telephone.
Michael Jackson.
The capital of Italy.
It's Rome. Say Rome. Shut up. I'm trying to hear Jerry. Rome.
Is that your answer?
No, Yeltsin. Our answer is Yeltsin.
All right. That was the last question, and the result is as follows. Team 1, 1 point. Team 2, a fantastic 36 points. Congratulations. You'll get to represent the district in the national finals. Tom, and what else do they get?
Just like last year's winners, team number 2 win a trip to the famous pyramids of Egypt.
Yes.
And Team 1, don't despair. A brave performance earns you a trip too. Isn't that right, Tom?
That's correct, John. Team number 1 get to spend the coming holiday at the famous military mathematics boarding school in northern Finland.
Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. Tango Delta to Alpha Foxtrot. I'm at the swimming baths. Linda's wearing her new bikini. What are you doing?
But please, Thomas's and Eric's parents have given them permission to camp out.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's true. Please.
We'll have to talk to Thomas's and Eric's parents, and then we'll see.
Oh.
Frank decided to go over to Thomas's to help him nag his parents into letting him camp out.
Hey, you haven't seen a goat around here by chance?
No.
You see, one of my goats has escaped. That's why I'm putting up this wanted poster. There'll be a reward for the person who finds it.
Right.
You kids are always running round everywhere. Perhaps you could keep your eyes open. Here's a poster. Maybe you can put it up at school.
Sure.
Frank thought at first that he would throw away the silly goat poster, but then he realized that the wanted headline was pretty cool. He could put it up above one of the nerdy portrait shots his mum had forced him to sit for.
Yeah.
At Thomas's house, Frank was greeted with great news.
We're allowed to camp out. Yippee! Wilderness, here we come.
They could camp out, on one condition, that the tent was pitched in Thomas's garden. On the other hand, Thomas's mum had promised them free access to microwave popcorn. The three friends immediately started to pitch their tent.
So what do we do now? Hi, we're gonna camp in Thomas's garden. You want to join in?
Sure, great. I just have to ask Dad first.
Do you have a tent?
Jerry's dad gave him permission to join his friends, and he did have a tent. Jerry had everything you could possibly need to camp out, and then some.
This should get them moving. Hello, girls. I'm prepared.
With a lot of difficulty, the three friends and Jerry finally managed to pitch the tent.
Totally professional.
And what are you up to?
We're going on a wilderness adventure.
Gosh, and I wonder just how adventurous things can get in this garden.
What do you mean? Anything could happen.
Like what? An ant invasion?
Where? Where? Haven't you seen this poster?
That's just a shred.
This shred comes from a wanted poster. It was put up on a lamppost down the road. A crazy mass murderer psychopath has escaped from prison. He believes that he's the devil himself. He dresses up as Satan, and he crushes his victims' heads between his teeth.
But where is the rest of it?
The poster has been torn to pieces, of course, and it's not too difficult to figure out who want to do such a thing.
But I don't believe you. Mass murderer psychopath. Give me a break. Ooh, is that the time? Gotta go. Gotta get a life.
Me too. See you outdoor nerds.
Typical girls. They believed it.
Yeah, there aren't any mass murder psychopaths, are there?
What? You think I made it up?
Yes.
Did you hear that? What was that? I don't know. Sounded kind of strange.
It was an owl, blockheads.
I think I'll go and fetch a pillow. The ground under my head is really hard. I need to take a pee. I'll be back soon. Mom!
It didn't look like Eric could find his pillow, and Thomas didn't seem to be coming back either.
Typical. Fancy going home just because a psychopath murderer is at large? Big deal.
Only joking.
Like I didn't know. I was joking too. I knew it was you all the time.
Frank and Jerry finally fell asleep. But after a few hours, Frank was woken by some strange sounds. Now, sometimes Jerry walked in his sleep. And on this occasion, it was during the middle of a dream in which he was a Roman legionary fighting the dreaded barbarians. For a while, Frank almost believed that it was the psychopath murderer who was stumbling around outside the tent. But then he remembered he had invented the psychopath murderer. It was obviously the lost goat. Frank realized that this would be a great opportunity to scare the living daylights out of Jerry.
Jerry, wake up! Jerry, there's someone outside. I think it's the
Frank, suddenly face to face with this nightmare of his own invention, went promptly into a state of shock. The next morning, Thomas's mother came out to see if any of the boys wanted some breakfast.
Are you the only one here, Frank? Where are the others?
Oh, what am I doing here?
Thomas's mum, having seen the wanted poster down at the store, called the farmer, who was overjoyed to get his goat back.
I never thought I'd see my coat again. You did a great job, kid. And I did promise a reward. You can choose between a £10 note and coming to my farm for a whole day and learn how to milk goats. So, what do you say? A day at the farm would be exciting, wouldn't it? It's a deal, then. You'll love it.
Tomorrow we are going to start studying Australia. Does anyone know anything about Australia? Jerry?
I have a pen pal in Australia.
Really? Is that true?
Oh, yes. He's coming here next week.
But that's fantastic.
The following day, Jerry got to tell the class about his pen pal.
And he's an Aborigine, an Australian Aboriginal. He gets up with the sun and lives among the wild animals in the great expanses of the outback. The boomerang comes back to you if you don't hit what you aim at.
On the break, everyone wanted to try the boomerang.
Oh, all right then.
Fiasco.
It wasn't.
It was.
It was better than your throw anyway.
It wasn't.
I bet I'll learn how to throw this boomerang before all the blockheads in this useless class do.
I know. The one who first manages to make it turn and come back will get 50p from all the others.
Okay.
All right.
After the break, the class started working on their group projects about Australia.
We had Otto in our group. We wouldn't have to do anything. Otto is the best in the class, you know.
So what? We're with Jerry, and when his pal arrives from Australia, he'll tell us all we have to know.
To start with, we'll have to analyze the country's infrastructure.
Sure, Otto. You decide.
I bet Jerry's pal has fought with crocodiles.
Of course. He strangles them with his bare hands.
Wow, how cool.
And he's got a necklace made of crocodile teeth. One for every crocodile he's killed.
The three friends were lost in admiration. Jerry's pen pal was going to be the highlight of the term. In order to make a good impression on the guest from far away, Frank borrowed Jerry's boomerang to practice. And the thought of the money didn't make him any less keen.
Jerry, does this Australian pal of yours have mystic powers?
Mystic powers?
There was a movie last night on the telly about this Australian Aboriginal who could read people's minds.
How did he do that?
He would just look at you, and then there would be this sound like like that, and then he would get this vision of exactly whatever it was you were thinking.
Cool. Can your pal do that, Jerry?
Sure he can.
So it's for real?
Of course it's for real. My friend explained to me all about how to do it. It's all a matter of, well, you know, being able to concentrate. Very hard,
said Jerry, pleased to explain such a sophisticated physical phenomenon.
You know how to do it then?
Well, it's been kind of a long while since I've done it.
Would you do it on me? Right now?
Well...
Go on. I'll think about something, and you'll tell me what I'm thinking about.
All right. But I might be just a bit rusty,
explained Jerry. Eric closed his eyes and concentrated very hard in order for Jerry to read his mind. Thomas helped too.
Are you thinking about Linda?
How did you do that?
Wow.
It's like learning to ride a bike. Once you learn, you never forget how.
Do me next.
Well, I don't know. I better not. It's not good to do it for very long at a stretch.
It's not?
No, you need to rest after, or else your brain cells might explode.
Finally, the big day had come.
This is my pen pal, Glenn Boomer.
Glenn has promised to tell us a little about life where he comes from.
Where is the crocodile necklace?
Glenn has also brought some pictures that he will show us. Frank, the lights, please.
Oops, this is where I live, together with my parents and my two brothers. This is the building where my dad works. He's an accountant. This is me at school. I'm taking an extra class in chemistry. It is really very exciting.
What has this to do with Australia?
Exactly. This sucks.
Come on, take it easy now. Why don't you ask Glenn some questions now?
I want to see how he strangles a crocodile.
Show us how to throw a boomerang.
But I don't know how to throw a boomerang.
What?
He's a fake if I ever saw one.
Do some mind reading then.
I bet the nerd isn't even from Australia.
No, who told you that? I live over in Largeville.
Jerry, he made it all up.
You'll have to pay for this.
Stop all this roughhousing at once and settle down, or I'll hoist you up in the rings and let you hang there till you're starved to death.
The class went deathly silent, and everyone looked around in terror. How could the gym teacher have appeared without anyone noticing?
Or until you fall off and crash your skulls when you hit the ground. That's just what you need to learn how to behave.
It turned out that Glenn had quite a talent for imitating.
Hello, I have a great idea. Let's play with my ants.
As everyone was in a good mood again, Jerry took the opportunity to try and get out of the tricky situation he'd got himself into with his lies about the Australian Glenn.
Glenn has in fact hired me as his manager, and I thought that if I just said that he was a great ventriloquist, I would never have been allowed to invite him.
Do me. You'll imitate Linda.
Boo, get lost. Go somewhere so I won't have to smell you, you stink bombs.
But the most cherished imitation of them all was...
Frank! Look, it's Frank! Stop imitating me! You!
The real Frank was raving mad and groped for something to silence Glenn with. Frank had made it. He was the first one who had made the perfect boomerang throw. And since Frank's classmates were decent kids, they all paid him the agreed 50p, without protesting.